Good morning from Leysin in the canton of Vaud in Switzerland. It is an absolutely glorious morning. The aspect here gives it more sunny days than most of the resorts around. Just boarded Le Bernous, and by the way, I just have to get it out of the way here. I'm going to try my best with the French pronunciations. If I mess it up, I apologise, but just boarded the gondola Le Bernous, which is the main access from the village of Leysin up to the ski resort and the panoramic restaurant at about 2,048 meters, La Couclos. So when we get to the top, I'll show you around, and today's video is all about Leysin, what you can find in this ski resort, and maybe who it's best suited for. So see you at the top. Okay, so out of the gondola, and just up there is the revolving restaurant, and opposite is the terrain park. Tour de Eye is at 2,331 meters. Let's go and have a look at the terrain park and the setup here in Leysin. So just jumped on the lift above the terrain park. I'll put the name of the lift on screen, but behind me you can just see that they have got a jump line with some rails at the bottom set up. It's a really nice setup here. They've also got a border cross track, which is pretty mellow but kind of fun as well. However, what's really impressive, in the background they're currently constructing the half pipe. Obviously they just need more snow, and a large jump line as well. So freestyle at Leysin obviously is something that they take seriously, and this Leysin Park looks really, really nice. Away from the terrain park here in Leysin, there are 60 kilometers of pistes. However, the area gets extended if you head over to Les Mosses and La Lecherette, which is accessible by a ski bus, which is where we're going to try and head now. Absolutely devastated. Just arrived at the ski bus pickup here in Solpra. That is an awful pronunciation, but we're going to go with it. And it had literally just pulled out. Now it says on the sign that it is a 9-minute journey and they come every half an hour. So I'm going to take the opportunity for a rest, sit, eat a Mars bar, and I'll speak to you when we get over to Les Mosses. The ski bus drops you down here in Les Pistes at Pistes 1 button lift. It's the only way up over into Les Mosses, and be warned, the button lift does give a little bit of a jolt as you start. It's not the best one for beginners, I don't think, but once it's moving it's perfectly fine. And look at this place. Sun is shining, absolutely glorious. Let's see what Les Mosses has to offer. couple laps in here over in Les Mosses and heading over towards La Lecherette, and it is absolutely beautiful. Much quieter than Leysin. I think maybe because the lifts here are all button lifts, so maybe that puts some people off. The button lift, you know, when I was on it was fine, but it did jolt you to get on. But rather excitingly and unexpected, just come across this border cross. So be rude not to give this a go, wouldn't it? Let's switch to POV. Heading back into Leysin, you'll have to take this lift, Sopra. It's a fairly old two-person chair, one of the few that isn't modern around the resort. The majority of terrain in Leysin is intermediate grade with some really nice red and blue pistes to cruise around on. There is hardly anything to rate as black terrain inbounds, with the run above the terrain park being the most notable. As for beginners have a few options with learning possible near the base of the gondola at Vallée Blanche. Vallée Blanche has a magic carpet, so I would definitely recommend this as the place to learn. If you'd prefer to make your life a little bit harder, there is a small rope tow and beginners area at the top of the gondola. I would definitely recommend Leysin for freestyle based on the look of the terrain park and what they're building already here. Intermediates will have the most fun around the resort, and that's the same to be said for Les Mosses and La Lecherette. Let's go through a couple of the pros. Leysin tends to receive a lot of sunny days. Due to its aspect, it can be a proper sun trap. During the last few days, it has been really quiet. This is despite it being a holiday week.
The ski area is also really popular with cross-country skiers. In total, there's over 40 kilometers of cross-country tracks here, including an area where you can learn if you've never tried it before. Some people might consider having to get a bus between the resorts to be a bit of a con. To be honest, it didn't bother me. I just wish maybe they ran on a more regular schedule.
A lift pass for the Leysin ski area will cost you 280-ish francs for an adult and 180-ish for a child. If you're considering skiing in Switzerland for more than 1 week, definitely check out the Magic Pass video linked on screen now and in the description, which will basically mean if you ski for 2 weeks, you're actually going to be saving money. You should also really like Leysin if you're into freestyle. The terrain park up over by the gondola is fantastic, and the fact that they're building that half pipe and that second jump line is going to make it perfect if that is your thing. So that is it from here in Leysin. I've had a really nice time, and I just wanted to finish with some of my final thoughts. As a resort, I love it. There's loads of cruisy blues, lots of fun to be had, and I can see why it's popular with intermediates and families. The views here are absolutely stunning. From the revolving restaurant, you can see all the way across to Mont Blanc on a clear day, and clear days is all that I've had here. It was really nice exploring the 2 other resorts that are linked to Leysin today as well, and it's nice that you have that option to go over there, but also there's other day trips that could be had, like Diableret, Grillon Villas. They're all accessible within short drives of Leysin. If there are any cons to snowboarding here in this resort, it would probably be in the lack of advanced terrain. So if you're looking for lots of steep black runs, you're not going to find them here. The areas off-piste do look quite nice, but to be honest, the conditions and my knee are not in a good enough state to go and explore that at the moment. So if you have found some nice areas around this resort, drop them down below in the comments. As always, I really appreciate you watching these videos. I look forward to seeing you next week with another one. If you want to stay up to date with the whole of this Magic Pass trip, make sure you've subscribed, hit the like button to share it with more people, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching.